Hey, what's going on, guys? G1Xtron here, and today I thought we'd take a look at another Nickelodeon TMNT figure. This time we're taking a look at Dojo Splinter. So this is the second Splinter to come out in this new animated line, and it's actually quite different than the first one, which is, it's cool because I don't want to feel like I'm paying, more money for the exact same figure, but there's some things that kind of puzzle me as far as the face paint going on there. Now, it is a different head sculpt. If you just kind of look at the teeth, this one hits a little bit more closed. You barely see those front teeth. This one, it's much more wider. It's almost like his mouth is kind of open, but it's went ahead and painted white as well. And his teeth, you can definitely see all of it. It does have the same little beard here. It hinders the movement in the head a little bit, but I don't know why you would need him to turn his head completely around. So, the other thing is the paint on the head, which I don't have a problem with. I'm not really sure which one is more cartoon accurate, because I know whenever they came out with the Turtles, they came out with those first ones, which were kind of cool. I've got them. Then they came out with the Battle Shell versions, which were a lot more cartoon accurate. So, this is obviously the one that I like the most. But with these guys, like I said, I don't mind either way. I just thought it was something funny and worth pointing out, because it's almost like it's not the color of his rat hair. It's like it's his battle paint or something like that. I'm not really sure. But as far as the articulation, I think it's actually, it's about equivalent with this, or maybe even better. Some people were like, well, there's no articulation in the legs, where if you got this guy, I mean, if you wanted to move his feet different, then he's not going to be able to stand, or it's basically just leaning up against this thing here. So it's one of those kind of preset poses, and even though you do have some articulation on the original, there's really not much you could do with it, because it has to be a certain way, otherwise he's going to be falling over. Taking a look at the accessories before we get into the figure itself. This is what the original came with. A little bit boring, if you ask me. This translucent or semi-translucent green plastic weird staff or walking cane. Thou shalt not pass. So with this guy, we get, even though it's not a real sword, this is Dojo Splinter. So he's chilling in the dojo and training his turtles. So he gets this, I'm not really sure the correct name for it, but the little practice katana or sword or whatever you want to call it. So there you go. And there's some nice detail on here. You can kind of see the little bamboo things and the little ties that would wrap around it. So there you go. Then he also gets his little fencing helmet, which does fit over his head, which is pretty cool. You can see his ears, they come out right there. That's a soft plastic, so it's nothing hard. But first off, before we put that on, let's take a look at the rest of this figure. I mean, like I said, I do dig the face, and I thought it's really nice. I really don't care about the paint scheme, or if it's more accurate to the cartoon, then bonus. But as far as the articulation, we'll go ahead and cover that. As you can see, that it'll go however it needs to, but then it's hindered by the beard. But that's a pretty nice range of movement, in my opinion. As far as the arms, these go back and forth. It doesn't go all the way down just because of how thick this armor is, and it's all one solid piece, so you're not going to be able to take it off. It does go back and forth here, but you don't have any whatever it was, elbow articulation like you did on the original, but the wrists do rotate. So if you want to do some type of cool pose with him holding his sword, he's going to be able to do that. Then in the waist, this guy does have articulation here, to where the other one did not. As far as the legs, these don't move, but like I mentioned on the other figure, that it was kind of, even though they could move, it's kind of pointless considering that you can't stand them if you did move them. The tail does rotate. It's a little bit hindered from this, but as you can see, this is just all a soft rubbery plastic, so you can just move it up under there if you needed to. Then his feet do rotate as well, so which is kind of cool, I guess. So yeah, but a really cool figure. I like them. All the articulation goes into basically, the turtles. So I've just kind of come to expect, expect what we're not going to get. They're going to be limited, but I do dig this guy. I like him. He stands quite nice. I don't have to really fool with him a whole lot of times. And I do like, instead of the elbow swivel, I like it in his wrist a lot better, because I can move this, and you know, it just seems like it gives me a lot better poses. Stand there, bro. Alright, so for a couple of comparisons, here are a couple of figures that came out in the same wave as him. Neutralized there, and there's little bitty Slash. So poor Slash. And taking a look at some of his turtles that he's going to be training with. There is the, I just said what it was earlier, Battle Shell version Leonardo, Battle Shell version Raph, and there he is with vintage Raphael. And for comparison, for movie toys, if you're collecting those, there is the movie Shredder. So thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed. I've got one more. I've got Razar to do, and then I'll probably do that movie Shredder, and we'll be done with Turtles for a while, and we'll get back into Transformers. But here's a little 360, and I do like what the black and how it kind of comes with the blue here. It breaks up really nice. So, and I do like that little helmet. I think that's really cool. He looks mean. So, peace, guys.